So we played a lot of elves on this channel, to varying degrees of success. I have felt like there have been some good. Um, we've had some good leagues. We've had some trophies over the years. A lot of 4-1s, and we've spent a long time like trying to solve the archetype. And this is something we do a lot in the channel: is take an archetype, solve it, and so when new cards get printed, we have them ready to go, so we can continue to improve and kind of see how well positioned they are now. One thing that does have me excited about the elf set is, or the elves from the set, is not necessarily the power level of the cards, but how some of the cards do directly address the biggest problems with elves as an archetype in modern. High Perfect Morkant, a 4-mana 4/4. Whenever it or another elf enters, each opponent blights one. You tap 3 untapped elves to proliferate. This like is a board wipe basically against a one-sided board wipe against Boros. This addresses the Boros problem pretty directly, and then Selfless Safewright addresses the Wrath of Skies problem. Although it's not really much different than having Chord of Calling for Selfless Spirit, although it takes some of the pressure off the Chord of Callings. This is a 5-mana flash convoke. Choose a creature type, other permanents of that type gain indestructible to end of turn. So a nice tool against Wrath of Skies and a nice tool against Boros. Two very important things. We're also playing one copy of Champions of the Perfect. This is a 4-mana 6/6. You do have to behold an elf and exile it. But whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card. So you have like your real engine in this deck is assembling either Eladamri, with Leafcrown Visionary, or Champions. You want to, or sorry, Champions. This will basically, more or less, this will let you cast your entire deck and then win the game with an Ezuri activation or potentially Elvish Warmaster activations if Ezuri is dead. Because of this, you do not need access to Shaman of the Pack to win the game. This is a really deterministic way to win the game. As long as you have a single non-summoning sick creature in play, which is pretty easy to have, you can untap them with Quirion Ranger, or Wirewood Symbiote, or Wirewood Symbiote, and then buff it enough with Ezuri and or Elvish Warmaster to win the game. One other thing, I am playing also more High Perfects in the sideboard for these creature matchups so that you can be really in on this plan against them. Surely one Badgerable Cub is worth. I think Badgerable Cub is bad in elves. And I feel very qualified to say this as someone who is a big time elf or Badgerable player, spent a lot of time with the card. I think I am almost always going to prefer to get Heritage Druid or Priest of Titania with my tutors. Maybe there are some moments where Badgerable Cub is better, but I think there will be a lot of moments where it's worse too. And this is a deck that really cares about all of its creatures being elves. A non-elf is really costly in the deck. Like a Badgerable Cub is going to be good in situations where you have multiple Elvish Mystics or Llanowar Elves in play, and we are only playing 5 of these. That's really the only time Badgerable Cub is really going to shine. Yeah, I agree. Badger doesn't work with. I think Badger give you 1 extra mana with Heritage Druid. Either way, I would just rather get Heritage Druid or Priest of Titania most of the time. Enough of the time, at least. All right. Well, my Priest of Titanias will for sure live against Pygonti, who only ever plays interactive decks. Honestly, Champion of the Perfect seems really good against Boros. There is an elf command at 6 mana. I love elf. So just cast the bombardment. Just cast the bombardment, man. All right, so we'll bring in a Rux Sage. We'll bring in the High Perfects. Could play Selfless Spirit for Wrath of Skies. Forge-Tender can come in potentially. Usually like it a bit more for prowess. I think we play the Spellskite as well. I think I'll trim a Symbiote, a Visionary. I wonder if I'm supposed to trim the other 4 drops. This card looked pretty good in my hand. That's kind of minor. Trim a priest. A lot of times trim one of the Elvish Mystics too. Yeah, let's try this. Is it changing Rec Sage not better? Maybe 2 toughness is better. Yeah, it's pretty minor. You into Crater Hoofs? There's like no reason to play Crater Hoof in this deck. It's just so incorrect. And like also, okay, listen, let's not do this today. Every time I play elves as an archetype, there's so many questions about like cards that only win the game when you're ahead. This deck already does like really deterministic wins. It's unnecessary. The new changing Greg Sage just another bombardment. Yeah, I get it. I know it is 2 toughness. Oh, you're making a feet joke for the elf lady, I see. Sorry about that. Keep a 1-lander? Have you tried Guiltleaf Archdruid? Which one is that? Is that the one that steals the lands? I love that card. It's just not very good. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one's I've never tried it. I've always evaluated it as not being good enough. Let's keep this. I was to way of blight answers now. I don't know. You could win sometime, I'm sure, but this is a good enough matchup for elves, thankfully. Good chance we could win this turn. Yeah, probably gonna win this turn. Alright, so grab our Heritage Druid. And then I'm gonna go cast. Well, maybe I wanna Chord of Calling for Ezuri first. No, I think we'll cast this first. Alright, so cast an elf, draw a card, untap the Nettle Sentinels. Always yields. Can I not always yes to this? Alright, it's actually really important that we chord for Ezuri first. Or not really important, but this is the main way you don't brick. Or so not Ezuri, Eladamri. It's gonna take a little while, but this will be a win. There's the Ezuri. So we're going to end up using the Ezuri to make our Priest of Titania lethal, and we'll untap the Priest of Titania a few times with Wirewood Symbiotes, and I think we can do twice with Quirion Ranger. We might have, we're probably pretty close now. We're also, of course, just passively generating a lot of mana with the Nettle Sentinels here. And then the Nettle Sentinel is also pretty good with the champion, because you can like bounce something and replay. Oh, I don't have 3 elves, right? Because Symbiote's not enough, of course. So why don't we activate a Priest of Titania for mana here? So I'll go untap, bounce a Heritage Druid, untap. You could replay the Heritage Druid, I guess. So make a bunch of mana, then Green Sun Zenith for another Wirewood Symbiote. So untap this, bounce another. I guess bouncing Quirion Ranger is in theory better, but in practice it doesn't matter since we can't. We will have as many untaps as we need here. So just try to be a little bit faster here by not thinking. Maybe that's not the right way to be faster. Sorry, I also forgot I just have 2 Quirion Rangers in play already. All right, activate Ezuri a bunch. Yeah, if only we had Craterhoof Behemoth. We would. You do less clicking with Craterhoof. Okay, so we want the Rex Sage. We don't want High Perfect. We want the Teeg for K Command, Karn, and Ugin. Collector Ouphe is fine. I don't know if I want to bring it in necessarily. Probably close. You don't want to over sideboard either. I don't think we need the Magus of the Moon. Let's not bring in the Ouphe. Let's mulligan the Zero Lander. Put back second Mystic, I suppose. Do you think this deck's win rate would be better if you include Celestial Reunion with Mirror Entity, so Wirewood Symbiote can go infinite, or Priest of Titania? We have played that combo before, and I haven't really felt like it's particularly good. No, not the worst. All right, trying to set up for another turn 3 win. They do have Natty-Tron. I feel like I've been getting Natty-Tron constantly. Let's just go to game 3. Let's keep it going here. Why no Magus here? The current builds of Tron are not very weak to Magus. They kind of top out at 7. They can cast their 7 drops with like K Command a lot of the time, like K Command in response to Magus. They're just not very weak to it, and we're presenting turn 3 kills, so it's not like we need to like hold on to our butts with Magus. Magus is almost exclusively just an anti-Titan card here. Not better to Green Sun Fatigue. Yeah, maybe it was better to Green Sun Fatigue there. I could believe that. I was a little bit worried because I didn't have a card advantage spell besides the Green Sun, so like if I just play the Priest, I'm like somewhat likely to win the game on turn 3, being able to Green Sun for Eladamri, or like at least do a ton of stuff, and like maybe that's better than playing around Natty-Tron. I don't know. I think a lot of times I just don't play around Natty-Tron, but maybe I should. All right, they say no to a Maze Mind Tome, an Ugin's Labyrinth, and a Mind Stone. So they're going to have Tron on turn 3. And if we could draw a creature, we could start doing a bunch of stuff. But we do need to draw a creature. Or an elf spell, specifically. Although Wirewood Symbiote would basically be as good as an elf spell. Do you think the deck's win rate would be better if people tried to innovate on resilience rather than going off harder? Well, I think that people do... Wait. Okay, I thought for sure they would have Tron because they said no to Ugin's Labyrinth. To answer that question, I feel like this build at least is somewhat maximized for resilience. I don't think it's getting a lot better at the very least. And I do think a lot of builds, they do have too high a curve with stuff like Shaman of the Pack as unnecessary win conditions. But still, that being said, I just think that archetypally Elves is going to be a deck that succeeds when there isn't a lot of like Goblin Bombardments and Wrath the Skies, and there's not really a way to just be like to make your deck good against these cards. I think I'm gonna get Ezuri here, especially with some fetch lands. Sorry, Eladamri. Sorry about that. Can I cast this? I have 2, 3. Almost can cast it. Okay, your turn. They're not gonna have Tron, thankfully. Yeah, I'll change the deck command. What are the strengths of elves or badgeable decks? Seems like elves need more pieces to play and function. Well, like a lot of the elf payoff cards are just really individually strong. Not really too complicated, I guess. Okay, so let me see if I just have lethal. I can go play forest, and then I can go tap. Okay, well, I guess they figured they were dead. Great. So on the play in a new matchup, we just don't have a mana engine. Maybe this hand's a fine keep anyways. And it's pretty good if we draw a Green Sun or a Chord of Calling early to find the Heritage Druid. I think I'm gonna keep. Let's try this on the play in a new matchup. It looks like you were allowed to see the top card of your deck before choosing if you shock with Temple Garden. Is that how it's supposed to work? I think it's not. I think that is a bug. Not 100% sure. I'm digging a Formidable Speaker with Devoted Druid. So Devoted Druid is almost just strictly worse than my synapses are all over the place today. The Eldrazi guy. The Eldrazi with Blade of the Broodskill combo. Oh, we're playing against Hammer. This is our best matchup. maybe it's Cheerios, probably Hammer. Although we kept a hand that's not very good in the matchup. Although we drew the Heritage Druid. Let's go. But Green White Druid won a challenge. Yeah, so yeah, the Eldrazi combo with it's just almost strictly better, is the thing, of course. There's just I just don't think there's many strengths of do I want to cast the champ? I guess I want to cast the Priest of Titania probably a little bit more this turn. Yeah, best matchup is deck no one plays, but we got lucky enough to run into it. Probably not attacking here. Any other tribes of lore we get a boost? The Goblin deck we played felt fine. I've been working on Merfolk. There's also some Risen Reef elemental stuff. Optimal attack when else for casting one drops. Yeah, I know. It just is also not going to matter at all, so I'm trying to save you some time. But yes, I agree. Just is not really a attack for 2 kind of matchup. I kind of wish Merfolk got a bit more. I agree. I do think it did get some good cards, though. Yeah, I do think Formidable Speaker Brood Scale could be kind of interesting. Could untap Eldrazi Temple, too. It's a little bit weird, too. Heritage Druid here, but I probably should just because I'm going to be drawing a lot of cards with the champ. Champ has seemed pretty good so far. Again, I think I want to go in on mana rather than Ezuriing here. 2, 3. All right, so we're going to do the Eladamri champ plan, which is, of course, our main plan in the matchup. We drew a Green Sun Zenith, so let's go activate. Then just play the Ezuri to draw the Green Sun. And then the Green Sun Zenith can shuffle the top for the Eladamri, and it could also give us a Wirewood Symbiote, although here's just a Wirewood Symbiote, to reset the top of the deck here. So we don't actually have 3 elves untapped here. We could also Quirion Ranger to untap Priest of Titania at some point. We don't need to do that yet. They're dead. They're super dead here. They just may not know it for a few minutes. Might be good to sooner rather than later Green Sun Zenith for a Nettle Sentinel. I guess it's actually probably just unnecessary since we have the Quirion Ranger in play to untap Priest of Titania. We're just not really choked on mana, so just keeping the shuffle for another Wirewood Symbiote is pretty valuable. We also the symbiotes can also untap the Priest of Titania. We might even like have lethal right now, actually. Do you want to draw this Green Sun Zenith? I guess let's go ahead and draw the Green Sun. So let's go ahead and untap the Priest of Titania, bouncing. Oh, I guess what we should do actually is we should go Quirion Ranger, untap the Priest of Titania. And then we should untap the Priest of Titania again by bouncing the Quirion Ranger. And then we can draw the Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, we're still a little ways away from having enough mana to kill, but we will definitely be getting there. Actually, I could just use the symbiotes I have though, right? So I can go. I've used both of these. Oh. It's kind of hard to tell which one I've used and which one I haven't here. I guess I want another Quirion Ranger anyways. Don't need to be too... honestly, the champion makes it just like a much easier to click through this. Did I not? Okay. Quirion Ranger, untap. So we've got 45 mana, which is 9 times 3, which is 27. So yeah, this should just be lethal here. Start activating the Ezuri. Yeah, there's just no reason to play Hoof besides you like to have an 8 mana blank card in your deck so that you can win a little bit faster because you hate taking game actions. That's if that's you hate taking game actions, you just want to turn your brain off and win the game. That's why you would play Hoof. In this deck, it's just really not necessary. And I really dislike having blank cards in the deck. All right, so we're gonna bring in the High Perfect, see if we can get this going in the matchup. We'll play the Ouphe, the Rec Sage. And that's probably about it. Gonna make 4 cuts. Probably gonna be trimming the Visionary, trim an extra elf, trim a 4th symbiote. Maybe I'll trim the Leaf Crown Visionary. It seems like we can probably rely on the champs pretty often. Oh, this card's probably... Nah, this card's just good in the matchup. Could trim another 1 mana elf for another symbiote. Trim another symbiote, I guess. Yeah, Safewright hasn't come up yet. It's mostly just for, like, Blink. So we got a lot of mana in this hand and no payoff. I think against Hammer we can mulligan comfortably enough. So we'll keep this hand. Probably put back the symbiote. So it'll be way better if this Pendelhaven was a forest. That way we could get the Heritage Druid online next turn. Although we can get it online now. Yikes. You don't need to draw your whole deck to Hoof, but curious to see if there are spots where it'd be good. I think it's very unlikely that you're ever in a spot where you can Chord of Calling or Green Sun for a Hoof, and do you have another one? I think it's very unlikely that you're almost ever in a spot where you have enough mana to Green Sun or Chord for Hoof, and you could not win the game otherwise. That you definitely that would have to be the case though. Right, so they're gonna equip the Double Striker. I'm gonna take 6. I want to start proliferating my Blight here. Okay, you should have done that. You could have killed me this turn if you had just drawn a hammer off this. Could have given this haste, made a mana, cast the hammer equipped. Is Champion the Perfect better than good old Beast Whisperer? Yeah, 6 toughness is crazy. I think that it is. Um, so I have 4, 5, 6. Okay, green sun for record for 3. I guess I do have the Quirion Ranger too. So let's go ahead and cord for Eladamri, I think. Yeah, a little slow for the Ouphe for the Rex Sage, I think. This is probably the best card to possibly see. Symbiote's not bad at all. It's actually, I would go as far to say good. Maybe even very good. So let's go ahead and return the Priest of Titania, bouncing the Quirion Ranger so we can reuse the Quirion Ranger. Then tap 4 mana to cast Champions. But what am I going to behold? I kind of need all these elves. Maybe I could cast this Priest of Titania first and behold it. Yeah, let's do that. I do think Celestial Reunion is a bad card in general, but I realize there are a lot of humans that have been or are playable in Asmo, so maybe it could at least as a 1-mana Asmo. The thing is, you can already 1-mana Asmo with Street Wraith. We have talked about that plan a good bit. There is something there. There's a lot of humans you can play with Asmo, like Ovalchase, Daredevil, Inti, Stanwith, Steelseeker. There's probably one more. I think Rydia you can play, but overall, I'm not like really enthused about the prospect. I just think that it's also like it's just not that powerful of an effect in general. Anyways, the like the green sun effect, it's okay, but it's not. I think it's just kind of a weak effect for a big deck building restriction. You know what I mean? But I could be wrong. You know, it could be kind of fringe. It might be something that it might be the kind of card that gets better later. I keep thinking I can tap Wirewood Symbiote to Heritage Druid. I'm gonna kill the Steel Cutter, the trample generator here. Oh, this shouldn't really matter very much. Wait, Axio's trampled too. All right. Okay, sorry. I guess we should have targeted the Saga then. Again, they're dead. Okay, I do have to Chord of Calling. You want a Chord of Calling for another symbiote here? Since the symbiote is just going to let you both untap a Priest of Titania for a lot of mana, and it's going to let you pick up an elf to re-trigger the champion to draw another card to clear the top of your library. Although I guess I only have one left, huh? You know what? My opponent's not conceding. Let's have a little bit of fun. Wait, like, where did the Priest of Titania go? This is pretty unnecessary. Let me live a little bit. We are kind of bricking a little bit. I guess I could bounce the Rex Sage and reuse it too. But you have to blight one. Oh no, what if my opponent left? Okay, let's untap the Priest of This is not something sick. There's a little bit of weirdness going on here. Let me go ahead and activate this to proliferate. Ooh, I could Proliferate the Saga. I guess that doesn't make any sense. But I could do it. All right, they've had it. They've had enough. 2-1. Do that. Yavimaya also has downsides, like letting your Amulet Titan opponent tap Urza Saga for green. But you can. All right, we'll keep this. Yeah, there's a new spin-off. It's called Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which I think is based on the book. The Hedge Knight is the name. I thought the book was called Dunk and Egg from... I don't know why I was under that opinion. Maybe it was Alt-Shift-X, that YouTube channel. Thoughts on Formidable Speaker? I think Formidable Speaker is bad in Elves. I think that you already have a lot of tutors and you don't want a slow one that makes you discard a card. Heritage Nettle lets you cast all your creatures. We need 30 mana to pump your guys. Yeah, you can get it. You get multiple Nettle Sentinels, and then you're gonna generate mana as you go. It takes a long time, but you can do it. All right, they take the Priest of Titania over to the Heritage Druid here. So we could Chord of Calling. Oh, sorry, I should have attacked first. This is a game that matters. Sorry. We could Chord of Calling for Dryad Arbor potentially. Probably don't want to do that. The novel is Hedge Knight. The graphic novel is Dunk and Egg. Maybe. I didn't know that there was a graphic novel. But episode 1 was good. I would recommend it. If you're into that kind of thing. So I know I could attack first, but I think... I guess if they have Bowmasters, they're going to Bowmaster anyways. But it is really bad if they go Bowmaster kill this double block. It's, I think, even worse for me. Okay, I can't quite cast that. I don't think they've got a Bowmaster, though. I'm going to attack. No, again, we should have attacked there. As I said, it was a mistake not to. Maybe they have Felia? Riddler with black mana up instead of white mana is interesting. I guess they just might draw Thoughtseize. Hopefully they don't have Solitude. Also, blocking there, maybe bad against Fatal Push, which is a card they could have. So, if we want to Chord for 4, which we do. Gotta do this. Oh, the Blink already turned on Revolt. That's right. Of course. We have the Quirion Ranger untapped to continue. We do need to have a creature on top after this chord. Nice. And I could showcase how this loop works instead of having Priest of Titania in play. It will take a lot longer, for sure. But it should be enough. Maybe it won't. So this is a new... Elvish Warmaster. So I can Chord of Calling for either a second net. I probably need to get a second Nettle Sentinel. The thing is, if I miss on the top, I can't continue. But if I get a Wirewood Symbiote, I could continue maybe. I know it needs to be an elf anyway, so we'll get another Nettle Sentinel. So now we could try to continue. No, Chord for Arbor doesn't do anything. Yeah, we do have to pass here. Just not enough mana, sorry. Still not in bad shape. How's more camp been? We haven't done much with it. We did kind of grab it against Hammer last round, and it was cool, but we were already going off. We haven't really had a spot where we would have gotten it otherwise. They have main deck Wrath Disguise. Oh boy. And they return Bowmaster. But I've got 2 Heritage Druids, so it kind of does nothing. Aladamri, Lord of Leaves is what elves need. That's the tap for the number of forests you control. It's kind of worse than Priest of Titania, but would give you redundancy, I guess. I don't know if redundancy to Priest of Titania is what you need. Really, Gaia's Cradle, which should not happen, of course. Okay, well, now we'll win. There's a Symbiote to start off with. Oh, shoot. Bowmaster's other text. Alright, I think we'll be fine still. Does make this pretty annoying. It's not a May ability either on champions like the 2-mana Lord is. But I can get Ezuri to fight through the Bowmaster. It just becomes like a mega pain. Not a mega pain. So this is 3 mana, so I could regen. But I think instead of regening... Oh, sorry, let's go ahead and let these triggers resolve. I want to tap those. Yeah, instead of regening, we just want to buff, so we don't care so much about the whole Bowmaster situation. Fancy play for sure. All right, so now we... Okay, they just concede. But I was gonna... You could pick something up with Wirewood Symbiote, draw another card, draw the Green Sun Zenith, continue. But probably not too far away from just killing anyways. You could also use Warmaster Pump. That's true, but I think I need to get the Ezuri in play anyways, and this is cheaper. The Pumps for More gives trample, so I think I just wanted to get this going. All right, so we'll bring in the Selfless Safewrights and the Selfless Spirit. I don't think you want to bring in Teeg for just Wrath Disguise. I think these are maybe a bit better, although it is nice that it stops the Wrath. Although maybe we are on Sun Cleanser instead of Selfless Spirit, and then also on Selfless Safewright. Let's try that. Because I like that this, like, you can chord for this in response to Wrath Disguise on the stack, and it stops it. But if you have Teeg, they can kill the Teeg, and then they can get rid of it. Although maybe this Selfless Spirit, and then this stops future Wraths, which Spirit doesn't. Although Spirit does help against, like, Fatal Push, I guess, which is kind of minor. I think I'll play a second High Perfect as well. I think this is a matchup to just test it. I'm not sure how it'll go. Seems maybe even more than that because they're in on Bowmaster. Let's try this. 3 Warmaster, 3 1-mana Llanowar Elves. No, I should probably play 4 and kind of Wirewood Symbiote. Oh, should I have cut Quirion Ranger? I think I like Quirion Ranger more than Symbiote. Although Symbiote's kind of cool against the removal. I find it doesn't come up that much. Pretty sure they were dead on board after the first pump by like 10. Maybe I did have to tap some creatures. I agree it was a win. Sometimes in elves I do look a little too far. You know what I mean? Hard matchup to Mulligan in, so let's keep. White Champion the Perfect is preferred to Beast Whisper. 6, 6, 6, baby! 6 power, 6 toughness, Boros format. 6, 6 is really good. But it is pretty similar to Beast Whisperer, it's true. I think the bigger body isn't worth the spell. I think that it is. Again, I agree that it's not a big difference. I think over and over modern players just totally underrate stats. like the people who are calling Quantum Riddler Elvish Visionary when we were playing it at first, it's like, I just modern players are not used to stats being super relevant on creatures, but they definitely are. Yeah, and you are tutoring for it most of the time without having to worry about the champion. Teeg always seems weird to me because it shuts down our tutors. It's just like really important against Tron to stop Karn, Ugin, K command. I probably should have green Sun for it game 2 when we played against them earlier. We did still win the match. What matchups to bring high perfect? More cons? Creature matchups. So we're bringing it. We brought it in here. We're gonna get a Quirion Ranger and then untap the Dryad Arbor, pick up the forest, play the Priest. No black mana for the high perfect. They graveyard a watery grave here. Overlord. They mill Flickerwisp and Felia, also High Noon and Ephemerate. I guess I need to bring in the Rex Sage. They return Felia instead of Flickerwisp. Maybe they don't have double white. Okay, I drew the champion, which I was kind of open to Chord for. Probably not a big deal. Probably still a good draw. I think we cast this first. So we'll untap the Priest of Titania. And then we'll Green Sun Zenith for Ezuri before we play the Priest of Titania. Sorry. Eladamri. Keep doing that. So now I have... Do I have 5 or 6 mana? I only have 5. It means I can't champion before I play Priest. Do they have Solitude? They have a Solitude. They pitched the Felia. So if they... We'll see if they have another white card for the other Solitude. This just gives elves or creatures? Elves, okay. They grab a Solitude. Presumably one of their other 2 cards is a white card if they're going to think this long here. Maybe both of them are, I guess. They could be thinking about killing my Priest of Titania too. Little do they know my top card is Priest of Titania. So they Solitude pitch Prismatic Ending. They do target the Priest. What interesting. So not a lot of choice besides cast another one, draw a card here. This card is bad when you have no black mana. This is a lesson we're learning. I guess we might as well untap the Dryad Arbor. Yeah, they do have Bowmaster in their deck, which we were able to combo through last game while having champion in play by courting for Eladamri and courting for Eladamri. Does the 6 power and 6 toughness matter? I guess maybe Beast Whisper would have won there too, but... Alright, let's get a 4-1 prediction going. I'll take a 4-1 with Elves. Yeah, Elves is bad against Boros, for sure. We're playing against Boros again. Might be. Definitely don't love being on the draw against it either. You could win. You know, it's really like if they don't draw Bombardment, it's pretty winnable. And if they do draw Bombardment game 1, not a lot you can do. I'm trying to get Overgrown Tomb off this, probably. So we want to draw a 1-mana elf. It would be kind of funny if we just lost this game because we shocked the Sid and then the High Perfect lady didn't do anything. We'll see if they've got the Galvanic Discharge here. If I'm already a mod, what happens if I VIP mod again? Nothing. You donate the channel points to the Abyss. I guess you get to flex. It's kind of like getting bottle service. Yeah, I heard about the new Strixhaven card. It's pretty funny. What's this about new Strixhaven card? I know, dude. Why are they spoiling new Strixhaven cards? Is the Boros bad enough matchup that you just abandon the sideboard plan or try to something dumb like 4 Needles? Well, I think trying something, you could try to figure it out. You know, if 4 Needles is not the move, I imagine. What we are trying today is we're trying this card, High Perfect. We're playing like one of the main two on the side to see how that goes in the matchup. At the moment, it seems a little hopeful. My opponent did cast 2 1-mana creatures, so and a 2-mana creature, so we're being punished by a board of 19 power. Is winning the game this turn possible? Technically. Funny enough, if they didn't discharge to Lester, maybe we're even just kind of ahead. Maybe that's not true. We need to hit another Nettle Sentinel off this Elder Armory, like, immediately, and then never brick on it. Okay, we brick. To game 2 we go. We're bringing the High Perfects. Maybe I will bring in Sun Cleanser. And the Spellskite. Got the Visionary. Got Symbiote for Elvish Mystic. Probably just 2 Elvish Mystics. They announced Jumpstart and Scene boxes for Marvel. What does Scene box mean? I usually don't care at all about Jumpstart because they don't come to Modern. What's Fortune for if not this matchup? Pyroclasm decks and also Prowess. So there's like there's a handful of decks playing Pyroclasm to beat Boros, and so the Fortuners for that. I don't think Fortuner stops like a Galvanic Discharge, but like all of your 1-drops trade for Discharge anyway. Stops like a Flage trigger. I don't know. Let's keep, I guess. Put back second Nettle Sentinel. Scene boxes is like the Christmas one they did for Lord of the Rings or Final Fantasy. It's 6 cards that make a picture or a scene. Okay, that's cool. So they're saying they've got a Galvanic Discharge. Or a Mana Tithe, I guess. Alright, well, I guess I'll play the Priest. Thoughts on Shaper's Sanctuary sideboard? Big Copium, unplayable card. Your mom lets you have 2 Galvanic Discharges? I guess the Pendelhaven could be good against Dashed Ragavan. Kind of minor. I thought about adding Riddler instead of like Quantum Riddler instead of Champion. Crazy. You know what's kind of sad? They've got enough energy they could discharge a champion here. Do I want a green sun for a priest or something here? Kinda. No fucking way, dude. Not only did I not play into the Containment Priest for my green sun, I get to kill the Priest of Titania with my Pendelhaven. Is Pendelhaven better than Cavern of Souls? You don't know anything about Modern. It's all about killing the Containment Priest. Is there any upside to playing elves or the Badgerel decks? Truly looks like this cup stuff is better. I agree the cup stuff is better. Like Wirewood Symbiote's a really strong card. Priest of Titania is a strong card. Champion's a strong card. This new black green card seems strong. Like there are like Heritage Druid is really good. You are like a lot weaker to this stuff. And I do think it's just good to test elves. I think post some stuff. Elves very bad against Boros. The Badgerel decks actually do beat Boros pretty often, so I do think we'll be playing some of those at some point. Let me do a little bit of a survey here. You know, I honestly, I'm just kind of tired and sick and hungry. I think I'm just gonna go.